Welcome to CARICOMP Insider, where high-tech facial recognition meets real-world intelligence.
In the past year alone, according to a joint study by UNICEF, ECPAT, and INTERPOL, roughly 1.2 million children across 11 countries told researchers someone had taken their photos and used AI to turn them into sexually explicit images. 1 in 25 kids. Not adults. Not public figures. Children. That number isn't abstract. In Montgomery Township, New Jersey, prosecutors charged a 17-year-old with child sexual abuse material offenses after the teen allegedly used AI to generate nude images of classmates. The case started with a cyber tip to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And if you're thinking this is one school, one bad actor, a joint investigation by Wired and a data firm called Indicator found close to 90 schools and 600 students worldwide caught up in the same kind of incident. This isn't a handful of headlines anymore. It's a pattern. Anyone who's ever handed a teenager a phone with a camera has a stake in what happens next. So the question running through every part of this story is simple. When the images look real but aren't, how does anyone, a parent, a principal, a detective, figure out what actually happened? Start with who's being targeted. According to reporting from NPR, women and girls make up an estimated 90% of the victims of non-consensual deepfake crimes. And in most of these cases, both the victims and the people creating the images are between 14 and 16 years old. Kids doing this to other kids. That demographic reality changes everything about how these cases move through schools and through courts. A principal who sees an explicit image of a student might assume it's real and launch a discipline process based on something that never happened. A parent might see the same image and pull their child from school. Without a way to verify whether the image is authentic before anyone acts on it, the deepfake does its damage whether or not anyone ever proves it's fake. New Jersey actually isn't new to this. 3 years ago, students at Westfield High School created and shared fake, explicit images of classmates. Since then, the state passed laws making it a crime to create or distribute non-consensual deepfake pornography. But passing a law and having the tools to enforce it are two very different things. Investigators working these youth cases told reporters that just 2 years ago, they had virtually 0 deepfake cases on their desks. Now they're juggling 5 or 6 at the same time. The AI went from obscure to mainstream faster than the legal system could build a playbook. And the federal government is playing catch-up too. Congress passed the Take It Down Act, which requires covered platforms to set up removal processes by May 19, 2026. Once someone files a valid request, platforms have 48 hours to take down non-consensual intimate images. That's a real deadline with real teeth. But 48 hours is a long time on the internet. And removal doesn't undo the harm that's already spread. Consider what happened in Baltimore. Someone created a deepfake audio clip of a school principal, made it sound like the principal said things they never said. That clip circulated 27,000 times before AI experts were brought in to prove it was artificially generated. 27,000 shares. The principal's reputation was shredded, while the verification process was still getting started. Eventually, experts confirmed the audio was fake, and the principal was exonerated. But eventually came after the damage was done. For anyone who shared that clip or saw it on a feed, the correction never travels as far as the lie. That Baltimore case exposes a deeper problem for investigators. When facial comparison and authenticity checks aren't standard procedure in school investigations, administrators may act on deepfake evidence without ever questioning whether it's real. That opens districts up to defamation lawsuits and employment disputes. It also means a student could be suspended, expelled, or publicly humiliated based on an image a classmate generated in minutes on a laptop. Investigators now need systematic protocols, routine verification steps built into every case, not one-off heroic forensics after the fact. Checking whether digital evidence is authentic is moving from a forensic specialty to a baseline requirement. And there's a tension underneath all of this that doesn't get enough attention. Detection tools are locked in an arms race with the generation technology itself. By the time forensic software can reliably spot fakes from one generation of AI models, the next generation has already made those detection methods obsolete. That means technical detection alone won't protect students. Educator training, institutional accountability, and platform responsibility have to carry weight that no single forensic tool can. The instinct is to treat this as a technology problem, build better detectors, catch the fakes faster. But the real shift is institutional. The schools, the courts, and the investigators who handle these cases need to stop assuming that any image or audio file is authentic just because it looks or sounds convincing. So, across 11 countries, more than 1 million children had their photos turned into explicit deepfakes in a single year. Most of the victims are girls between 14 and 16. And the system's meant to protect them. Schools, platforms, law enforcement are still building the procedures to tell real evidence from fabricated evidence before anyone gets hurt. Whether you investigate these cases for a living or you're a parent whose kid just got their first phone, the same question applies. Can you trust what you're seeing? And if you can't, who checks? The written version goes deeper. Links below.
Now you know something most people in this industry don't. Use it. And when you're ready to put it to work, caracomp.com. We'll see you tomorrow.